Warwick Ellis, Material Civil Test Equipment. Small session on training for maintenance. Right, simple maintenance, day-to-day maintenance of the asphalt analyzer. Firstly, we'll start off with the basket. Right, we have our specimen basket. That specimen basket in service is rotating. It's rotating with your asphalt sample inside. So there's wear and tear on this basket system. So if we have a look at the basket system, we have a lid that has a seal, and we have an external coarse mesh and an internal fine mesh. The internal fine mesh is a wear item. It will wear out as the aggregate's rumbling around in here in the cleaning process, in the dissolving the bitumen process. So we need to inspect the mesh. The way to inspect the mesh is you pull it out and you'll hold up to the light. You may not see it in the video, but if you hold the screen up to the light and put your hand over the top, you can actually see through the mesh. And so we can inspect the mesh for damage or blockage. If you have blockage in the mesh, you'll need to maybe compressed air blow the mesh out, or basically clean the mesh to make sure you've got no blockages. But if you get wear and tear, you'll see extra daylight through the mesh. So this is an inspection process to make sure the mesh is kept in good condition. We strongly recommend that you always keep spare mesh on hand. So when you get damaged mesh, you can change it. When you change the mesh, you have to undo the bolts to pull the mesh apart. But there's a plastic seal top and bottom on the mesh. Right, so you buy the inner mesh is the wear item, not the outer mesh, but you buy a new inner mesh with two of the plastic Teflon seals for when you're doing a mesh change. The other thing that's a wear item is this seal on the cover. When you put the cover on with your aggregate, normally you'll do that on a workbench. You put the cover on. You screw the locking nut up. You have to screw the nut up tight enough to make sure that you don't get excess aggregate coming out through the lid. If you leave that lid loose, like this, here's an example of a very loose lid, aggregate will come out and you'll get excess aggregate will come out of the centrifuge, and you can get a blockage in this hose. This hose is the hose that is getting the solvent out of the washing system into the centrifuge. So maintenance items, the mesh in the basket, the seals on the basket, making sure that the basket is done up tight. When you install it, you can get some blockages into here. The solvent comes down into this part, goes into the center of the centrifuge through this pipe, and the centrifuge then spins and dries the product with the heating process that's described in an earlier video. With the baskets, the centrifuge baskets, it's important to understand that at the top of the baskets there is a number of very small laser cut holes around the top. If you hold it up to the light, you can see, very hard to see in the video. Oh, there it is. There it is. We've got them now on the video. You can see the row of holes. It's important to inspect these holes to make sure that they're open to enable the centrifuge to properly dry the product. Okay, so we've got holes to inspect here. We've got hose to make sure that we don't get a blockage in the hose, mesh, and the seals on there. That's typical of the day-to-day maintenance items that are needed on the machine. Warwick Ellis closing off, and we'll see you on the next training video. Thanks.